Imagine there is a dam in your mind blocking the flow of ideas and possibilities. What if we could break that dam and unleash your flood of potential? Just think about the last time you changed your perspective on a problem and suddenly you saw a solution that seemed previously impossible. In fact, we are surrounded by impossible things that turned out to be possible. We used to believe that human beings cannot fly. Yet, in 1903, the Wright brothers took their first flight. And today, millions of people are flying every day. It's supposedly impossible for polio patients to walk. Yet, Wilma Rudolph overcame her paralyzed leg to win 3 Olympic gold medals in track and field. If you think about it, those miraculous feats were never impossible to begin with. The barrier existed only in our minds. And we don't even realize the barriers exist. But what if we can make those hidden beliefs visible, systematically dismantle them, and start living the life we've always wanted with no limits? In this video, I'll explain 4 ways to notice our hidden beliefs and transform them into helpful ones. But first, let's understand, what are beliefs in the first place? A belief is basically an idea about yourself or the world that you feel strongly about. It is not a universal truth. It is just your version of the truth. You believe it due to several influences, which we'll address later. By changing your perspectives, you can change your reality and your results. Imagine this scenario. 2 candidates, Alec and Brian, are waiting for a job interview. That morning, they both read an article that said, this year, 5% of people worldwide are unemployed. Alec feels comforted thinking, that's great. That means I have a 95% chance of getting hired. I'm skilled, I'm prepared for the interview, I practically got this. Brian, however, feels distraught. He's thinking, the economy is so bad. Just look at the number of people waiting for the interview. Even this guy beside me looks more qualified. I'm doomed. Who do you think is likely to have a better interview? Now and then, we are like Brian when our limiting beliefs hold us back from our goals and dreams. A limiting belief is like a wall in our mind blocking us from solutions and helpful ideas. Most of the time, we don't even realize that it's there. Just think about the last time you said something like, I'm not good enough. This comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I'm not smart enough, I'm not beautiful enough, not rich enough, not experienced enough. You get the picture. How about, my circumstances are different because I'm too young, too old, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm gay, I came from a good family, I didn't come from a good family. You can fill in the blanks with almost anything. Here's another good one. They won't let me. They could be your spouse, your boss, your parents, your friends, or your religion, you name it. Just imagine what you could achieve if you could dismantle all those limiting beliefs standing in your way. How many new doors will open, and how drastically could your life improve? It all starts with this fundamental notion. A belief is just an idea, and you are free to change any belief about yourself and the world. If Rosa Parks accepted the racial inequality in her time, she wouldn't have stood her ground and sparked the American Civil Rights Movement. If Nick Vujicic accepted that he couldn't amount to anything without arms and legs, he wouldn't have established life without limbs and inspired millions of people. If Stephen Hawking accepted his limitations after he was diagnosed with ALS, he wouldn't have become one of the greatest physicists in modern times. What about you? Just think about the last time you felt unsure about something, but you tried it anyway, and things turned out to be much better than you expected. Can you see the truth behind this statement? A belief is just an idea, and you are free to change any belief about yourself and the world. At this point, you might be thinking, but some of these beliefs have been with me for so long and I didn't even notice them. How can I change something that I cannot see? Well, I spent many years grappling with that and trying out ideas from different books. One day, I was just connecting the ideas visually between some reading graphic summaries when something clicked. This led to the ideas that I'm about to share with you. I've also dropped the links to the summaries in the description below in case you want to deep dive further. Earlier, we said that beliefs come from various influences in our life. Our beliefs are usually invisible to us, but we can start to notice them through 4 ways in which they manifest in our words, feelings, actions, and things happening in the external world. We can also use these 4 channels to chip at our beliefs and change them over time. We'll explain how to do that shortly. Basically, think of your long-standing beliefs as an invisible fortress wall, huge and unseen. We're gonna use the 4 channels to bring those hidden beliefs to the surface so you can challenge and transform them in 3 phases. First, to change our limiting beliefs, we must first become aware of them. To put them into words, understand where they're coming from so we can choose to remove what is unhelpful. Then, we alter our beliefs using the same 4 channels to take them apart bit by bit until the walls come crumbling down. But we won't stop there because as we dismantle old beliefs, we must also fill the gap with new empowering beliefs so we don't fall back into old thinking habits. That's when we use the 4 channels to build and reinforce positive beliefs that support us. Remember, a belief is just an idea and you're free to change any belief. With that, let's map out our beliefs and start to transform them. We'll start with your words. Everything you think and say are clues about your underlying beliefs. Let's dissect this simple statement. I shouldn't drive. I'm such a bad driver. My husband will be furious if I damage his car. What if we change the word slightly so you distance yourself from the belief and see it in a different light? I choose not to drive because I'm telling myself that I'm a bad driver and using my husband as an excuse. You can also listen out for the labels that you use to describe yourself and others. Instead of calling yourself stupid or lazy, what if you said, I'm choosing to take it slow, or I'm giving myself a break? Your words help you to notice your assumptions and judgments, and you can use your words to shape your perceptions. When you repeatedly choose positive, constructive words to describe yourself and your world, you start to feel a shift and feel empowered to make better choices. In our video on self-talk, we share more specific phrases and techniques that you can use to overcome negative self-talk. The second way to assess your beliefs is through your actions. We naturally move away from things that we believe are painful or bad toward things that we believe are pleasant or good. By paying attention to the things that you do or avoid, you can start to pick up the underlying beliefs beneath them. For example, if you're hesitant to learn a new skill even though it will help you to get promoted, it could reflect a belief like, I will never be good enough, or no one will notice a difference anyway. If you're constantly overspending, it could suggest a belief like, material possessions make me happy, or I must keep up with appearances to be accepted. When a goal seems impossible, it's usually because there's too big a gap between where you are and where you want to be. It helps to set an annual goal, then break it down into quarters, months, weeks, and days. Once you can see the steps in between and zoom in on what you can do right now, suddenly the impossible starts to seem possible. We explain more about this in another video. Even the best chefs started out as an apprentice or a line cook, and great CEOs might start out as a humble intern. The key is to keep taking action to move forward toward your goals, however uncomfortable they seem. The third area to observe and change is your feelings. Unpleasant feelings like guilt, anger, or sadness are all signs of stuff happening beneath the surface. If someone offers you a delicious dessert and you feel inwardly guilty instead of happy, it could reflect some negative beliefs about your weight and what you should or shouldn't eat. Or if you say something like, I'm sure I can do this, but you can feel a disconnect inside, that might suggest that you don't fully believe what you just said. So our emotions are like a window into our inner world. Often, we can change how we feel just by changing our perspectives. For example, instead of feeling bad for refusing the desserts, congratulate yourself for committing to your health. When you repeatedly shift your assumptions and perceptions to feel positive about yourself and the situation, it also starts to shape your self-beliefs. In our video on emotional management, we cover more strategies to manage your feelings in the moment. That includes amplifying positive feelings and minimizing negative ones. Finally, it's time to address the beliefs in relation to your external world. Our existing beliefs come from life experiences or external influences, like our parents, our teachers, our close friends, our community, or stuff that we pick up from the media. If the people around you are constantly saying things like, people will take advantage of you if they can, or life is hard, we must do what we can to survive, chances are some of those beliefs will rub off on you. In my initial years in business, I really struggled. When I looked inward, I dug up a lot of hidden beliefs like, you will lose all your money in business, or business is tough, it's better to have a steady job. I realized that most of those beliefs came from my parents. And deep inside, I felt like a bad daughter for leaving my high-paying job to do something that they obviously disapproved of. So, before I could thrive as an entrepreneur, I had to sort through all those beliefs, take what was useful, and remove or change the rest. Here are 3 tips that I found really useful for shaping my beliefs. First, ask yourself, does this belief help me? And is it true in all circumstances? I've come to realize that most statements are only true to some degree. And these questions help me to see things in perspective. Second, you can use the external world to your advantage by exposing yourself to contrary evidence, or what psychologists call counterfactuals. You can always find someone who has achieved what you thought was impossible, even if they face tougher circumstances. Third, find a role model who embodies what you wish to achieve or who you wish to be. How would you think, feel, do, or behave differently if you were in their shoes? Get specific, like the exact words they say, what they do in their typical day, what they wear, where they go, who they mingle with, and so on. The idea is to surround yourself with people and ideas who represent the beliefs that you want. So they seep through your mental barriers into your brain and help to dissolve those limiting beliefs. On my entrepreneurial journey, I was deeply inspired by Steve Jobs. He was known to set seemingly impossible tasks, then bend reality by convincing himself and the people around him to make it happen through sheer conviction. I could use more of that. Building read-in graphics also helped a lot because every book I read poked holes in my mental wall and opened me up to new possibilities. Through the 4 channels, it's possible to notice and change our limiting beliefs brick by brick. Once you change a major belief, other beliefs also start to shift, creating a rippling effect. And the process never ends. I moved from I can succeed in my corporate career to I can succeed as an entrepreneur. Now, I'm building my new beliefs to get to the next level. I can build multi-million-dollar businesses that run without me and deliver 10 times the value to our customers. What about you? If you can change any belief, what would it be? Feel free to come back to this video anytime to keep removing your mental barriers. As Brian Tracy once said, there are no limits on what you can achieve with your life except the limits you accept in your own mind. Join me on the next steps to authentic success in this next video right here. See you there!